Team Rocket's Jessie had dreams. She wanted to make something of herself, and yet she never had what it took. There are more than just tears to this story, so let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Charles. How are you today? It is Team Rocket Week, a week in which we will be exploring the backstories of our favorite, or perhaps not favorite, trio of mobsters because, wow, these three have been through some pretty tough times. And we will be kicking things off with Jessie's story of tragedy, failure, and finding one's place in the world. So bring out your tissue box, kindly request your machoke to cross-chop that like button for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe for more Rocket backstories, and let's jump right in. Like half of the cast's good-for-nothing dads, Jessie's father was never part of the picture, and whether he's just been out chasing skirts or if he's been swallowed by Big May, well, nobody knows. Her mother, however, played a very important role in laying out the blueprints for Jessie's life. And snippets of the last years of Jessie's mother's life were detailed in a Japan-only radio drama written by the original anime's chief writer, Takeshi Shudo, and broadcast in the weeks leading up to the premiere of Mewtwo Strikes Back, way back in 1998. Some 20 years prior to the events of the movie, a Team Rocket agent named Miyamoto presented the leader of the organization at that time with a tape recording featuring the voice of a phantom Pokemon said to appear with the rise of the sun on the other side of the world just once a year. Likely the world's rarest Pokemon, and a Pokemon certainly worth pursuing. Very much a career woman, Miyamoto had already placed her 5 or so year old daughter into foster care at this point, and 2 years later led a 3-person rocket unit into the depths of South America's jungles to search for Mew. And as you might expect, she never came back, banishing herself into obscurity and her daughter into a life full of struggles. Fast forward to the anime, episode 66, in Snow Way Out, we see Jessie, now in her mid-20s, reflecting on a memory of her childhood that is indicative of her early struggles with poverty. A memory in which she was a young girl thrilled to see the sight of snow, not because she could make snowmen or snow angels, but because in an upbringing source of food, she could eat as much snow as she wanted to. We then see a woman serving her snow onigiri, snow sushi, and other snow dishes with soy sauce, and whether or not this woman is Miyamoto or Jessie's foster mother isn't clear in the original dialogue, but either way, we do see a kind-hearted woman doing her best to turn water into wine for this little girl. And water into wine was probably not the best analogy. Anyways, this is interesting, but in the dub where Jessie says to the woman, "This is the best smorgasbord any mommy ever made," in the original dialogue, she actually says, "Konna zeitaku shite bachi ga ataranai kashira?" And dear God, I am so sorry for my cringy 5-year-old girl voice. But I did my best, and what she said actually translates into something very different from the English dub. In fact, what she says is more along the lines of, "I wonder if I will ever be punished for indulging myself like this." And of course, she is merely expressing how impressed she is with the food that she's received, but if we take what she says in a literal sense, well, yes, unfortunately, she would be punished for enjoying even this small pleasure, as life was getting ready to slug her in the face time and time again. Flung into a tough world from the get-go, Jessie was a girl with dreams of a bright future. But sometimes dreams are just dreams, and no matter what we do, they seem to just live beyond our reach, like that jar of cookies or that date with your heartthrob. Cookies are bad for you, by the way. Make sure you get your veggies. Growing into an ambitious teenager, Jessie forwent an opportunity to leave town with her love interest Easton when he invited her to embark together on an adventure, because she was dead set on nailing an audition to become an idol with her friends. However, while her friends passed the audition, Jessie did not make the cut and was left with nothing but eyes full of tears and fantasies about what could have happened had she taken the easier route and accompanied Easton on his journey to become a Pokemon coordinator. Rebounding from her failure, she later left home with a new dream, to become a Pokemon nurse. However, she never managed to get the grades necessary to attend a normal nursing school and ended up attending a nursing school meant for Chanseys. And while Jessie actually did have a talent for nursing, she just wasn't able to keep up, or keep awake, I should say, with the unique abilities of the Chanseys in her class, and became the only member of the class to taste bitter failure on graduation day. Yet again, she was the odd one out, the loser in a group of winners. And from there on out, Jessie's ambitions would only continue to be marred by crushing failures, whether it be the string of bad boyfriends who treated her like garbage and dumped her Pokemon contest failures in Hoenn, or really her incompetence at whatever career she tried her hand at. And it is really sad to see someone just fail over and over like this. I mean, some of us might poop our pants at school, get embarrassed, and get over it, but Jessie pooped her way through 25 years of life with one embarrassment after the next. That is a lot of poop. And when you consider this never-ending streak of L's, her current personality makes sense. The vanity that conceals insecurity, the facade of confidence that shatters whenever someone insults her, the way she lashes out angrily at those around her in frustration. The Jessie we know is the product of years and years of reaching and failing, reaching and failing, reaching high, but falling back into mediocrity no matter what she did. It is very sad. However, her story also has its silver lining. On one hand, there are people who just go through life coasting by, taking the hand dealt to them, playing it, and never really trying to push the envelope. They get by, but they never test their limits, never know their potential, and never try to see what could be waiting for them at the other side of the rainbow. On the other hand, there are people who go through life racing toward their dreams, pushing their own limits with vigor and tenacity, and they might fail over and over, but they learn a lot about who they are, what they are capable of, and in the end, they find their place. Jessie is this type of person, and while her failures are never ending, her willingness to get out there and try her hand at things ultimately did lead her to the other side of the rainbow, to a place where two very precious friends were waiting for her, and the pain of failure melted away into something warm and wonderful, that being the presence of true friendship and a sense of belonging. When she met James, they flunked hard at Pokemon Tech, but they went down together, and they rose up together through the Bridge Bike Gang before joining Team Rocket and meeting Meowth, with whom they formed the perfect family of rogues. A trio of kindred spirits who aren't afraid of failure, because while they fail and fail very often, they never face failure alone. Jessie may have failed at achieving her dreams over and over and over again, but her willingness to get out there and keep slugging back at life catapulted her a couple rungs up the hierarchy of needs to a better place where she has friends who she can count on. A place where the failures never outweigh the smiles. I guess that the big takeaway from Jessie's life is that chasing your dreams may not necessarily bring you the success that you are looking for, but your efforts will definitely take you to places which may surprise you in very wonderful ways. And on the flip side, if you just sit around like a donkey waiting for something to happen, or you give up before the towel even hits the floor, well, it's unlikely that anything you desire will ever come to you. In other words, I would say that most people fail at things because they are unwilling to put in a consistent effort over the long run or sacrifice any of the comforts of an easy but unfulfilling life. But the people who are willing to strap themselves to the wheel and put in the grind without giving up on themselves in spite of their failures, these people tend to go very far. Even Jessie has somewhat recently began to get some traction with her performances in Kalos, making it all the way to the masterclass semi-finals. Nice work, Jessie. And the last point that I wanted to add here is that if you are grinding hard but going on and on with no signs of success, it probably means that you're just grinding in the wrong direction and that you should take a moment, pull back, think about what you're doing, think smart, and think how you can apply your grind mania more effectively and in a way that really plays to your strengths. If you do make those adjustments, then your efforts, they will probably pay off tenfold. The point is that you just need to take destiny into your own hands, put in the work, and don't give up because of a few failures, just like our girl Jessie. And that being a little bit smarter about it than Jessie would probably also be advantageous. So while Jessie's backstory is a bit of a sad tale, I also think that it ends with blue skies on the horizon. But what about you? Can you relate to Jessie's story in some way or another? Are you grinding hard or simply being a donkey? Have you found your break in the clouds? And is Miyamoto still out there somewhere looking for you? I'm curious what you think about these random questions and whatever else is on your mind. Well, thank you for tuning in, everyone. I hope you all have a very healthy, happy, and safe day. We will be back tomorrow with a look at the tragic backstory of everyone's favorite cat with a coin glued to his head. So do be sure to subscribe, to spank that notification bell, and to follow me over on Twitter. And with that said, as always, let's chat.